Welcome to the Holly Area Community Show. I'm your host, Jody, and I'm here with Shirley Puhala, who is a food shelf volunteer at Reach in Holly, Minnesota. And the reason we're here, first of all, is because the shelves are looking a little bare.
Yes, they are.
And we have seen in the media lately that a lot of the food shelves are going through the same thing, where they've seen an increase in usership. And we'll be talking to Amy Ebert, the food shelf coordinator. But for now, you're a volunteer here. Mm-hmm. How often do you typically come?
The food pantry is open Mondays and Thursdays, so I'm here, about 3-4 hours.
So you come a couple times a week.
Yep.
And what sorts of things do you do in the food shelf?
I bag up the groceries or the food, and they're in 3 different: large family, medium family, and small family. And then I help the clients when they come in.
And so do the clients, do they have appointments, or do they just come in on those days, or how does that work?
They come in once a month on a Monday or Thursday.
Okay, and so you pre-bag them so it's easier to get the food.
Because this is a smaller food shelf, so that's how we do it here.
Now, I've noticed there is a lot of produce coming, so local farmers or local gardeners have bringing it. I bet that's kind of fun to give out to people.
Yes, it is. And sometimes we have a lot, sometimes we don't have as much, but... and we look forward to the food drives, because that's when we get all the extra good stuff.
I was talking to another volunteer about that, how it's nice to have that variety. Yep. Otherwise, this food comes from the Great Plains Food Pantry, correct? And so the food is ordered.
Right.
So what is typically in a bag, a food box for a family? What do you normally put in there?
Well, it's always nice to have peanut butter. I don't know why, but that's kind of a staple. We have vegetables, fruit, canned, and soups, beans, rice.
Just simple things that you can make a meal with. And how large of a supply is it? Does it last a day? Does it last a week? Is it about 3 days?
Oh, yeah.
3 days that it would last? So this is really an emergency food shelf for people that are just going through a tough time and just need some momentary help, right?
But I try to put together so they can make, as many meals as they can by what sometimes if you go to the grocery store and bring back groceries, then you wonder, what is there for supper?
Right, yeah.
So I like to try to put things together in the bag that they could make meals, more than one or two.
Yeah, that's great. And especially when a lot of the folks are families, and something that they could prepare and eat together, and not just the quick microwave food or something like that.
Yep.
So how long have you been volunteering here?
How long have you been here?
I've been here about 3 years. I'm the director at Reach.
Yes, about 4 then.
About 4 years? And what prompted you to be a volunteer here?
Well, I was going to retire, and after a while, I just wanted to do something, to help other people. Or
I know that the clients that come here, many have responded that they like that you help them with the food shelf, because sometimes it's very difficult to come to a food shelf and ask for help even when you need it. And so it takes skill and to help people so that they don't feel shamed or don't feel embarrassed, because sometimes they're just in a tough spot. And I think you do that very well, and it's a real gift that you have.
I can do that.
Yeah, and you have a big heart, and we really appreciate you being here. So thank you so much. We're going to take a little break and talk to Amy Ebert, the food shelf coordinator. And we're back at Reach at the food pantry that is in Holly, Minnesota. I'm here with Amy Ebert, the food shelf coordinator. Welcome to the show. We should say this food shelf is in Holly, but other people from other communities access the food shelf, correct?
Yes.
And what is the service area of this food shelf?
We cover rural Clay County, which would be Glendon and East and up and down and everything else. And then we cover just West Becker, which would just pretty much be Lake Park. And then also Norman County. So we get like Norman County, we'd have like Twin Valley people. We've had people from Gary. We've had people kind of from all over.
So the small towns in Norman and Clay, if someone from Fargo-Moorhead comes to the food shelf, do you give them a food box? Or
it would have to be an extreme circumstance where they are moving something, but rarely.
Yeah, because really this is designed for so that rural towns folks can access it.
Right.
So we were talking to one of your volunteers, Shirley, and she said, the food shelf seems to be really used lately a lot.
Yeah.
Have you been seeing that with your numbers that you document?
It's gone up a lot. Since April, we had 46, and it's increased every single month since April.
46 people?
Families.
46 families,
Yep.
Okay.
And then August, we had 61 families. We've had an increase in donations of produce, which has helped. So even though we only had 4 more households in August than July, we had 1,000 more pounds that we gave out.
Which is wonderful, yeah. Mm-hmm. There's been some beautiful produce that people seem to really enjoy.
Yep.
So I was talking with Shirley also about that this seems to be a trend. We've been hearing this in the Detroit Lakes area. Any idea why the increase in numbers?
With the fact that our unemployment rate is lower than anywhere else, pretty much. I don't know if we're the top still or between us and North Dakota, but people come up here expecting to get a job when they cross the border, and it just doesn't work that way. So they find themselves in a hard situation. So that's where we come in, shelters come in. Everywhere around North Dakota and Minnesota has been tapped out for resources because of that.
So if someone wants to access the food shelf, is it as simple as, hello, I'm from wherever, and they can get a food box?
I need to know who all lives in the household. I need to know what their address is and their phone number, and then I will talk to them about what their situation is, what they need help locating for resources, so I can make the appropriate referrals.
So they fill out some paperwork,
Yep.
and you keep documentation on these folks. Yep. And then it's an emergency food shelf, but they can come once a month, correct?
Right. They can come once a month for the food, and then when we have such an increase in produce, like right now we have a lot of tomatoes, they can come once a week for the produce.
Okay.
If we have it, I just ask that they call ahead, and it's been working out pretty well.
Good, yeah. And so do people generally come every single month, or what do you see there?
Some people come once a year, some have once every 3 years, some once a month. It varies, and there's really... there are some families who just have a situation where they need the help every month, but then there's some families where I couldn't tell you when I'll see them again.
And I know that the churches are good at supporting this food shelf, but also private donors will give us money. Some people really like to give food, though. And so Shirley talked a little bit about what she likes to put in the bags. How does one know what to bring? Where do they bring it? That sort of thing.
You can always give us a call and ask what we're low on, because it does change from month to month. Right now, we kind of need pasta and like spaghetti sauce, hamburger helper, mac and cheese, those kinds of things, tuna, and then like chili and things like that in a can that can last a while. Mm-hmm. Because when we do have them at the food bank that we order from, it's expensive. Mm-hmm. And also, they take up space and they go fast. So we need to have them coming in constantly.
Yeah, I'm amazed at one day the shelf can look pretty packed, and then 2 days later it's really cleared out. It's amazing. But it sounds like you have a really good system, and that you really honor the boundaries that you have for the food shelf. So that's wonderful. Also, I was going to say, if someone belongs to a civic group or a church, food drives are great, right?
They're always great. There's not really a time of year that we wouldn't need them. It can come at any time of the year because we always have families that need food.
So if someone wanted to organize a food drive, they would contact you?
Yep, they can contact us, and they can just get an idea on what all they need, what all we need specifically if they want to go that route. Or like last year we had one of the churches did produce drive too, and we had our little pumpkin patch, and so those things are always fun.
Great. So call Amy at Reach 218-483-3145 if you would like to donate to this worthy cause. Job well done. I know it's a place that's ever flowing, and you keep it flowing so well. So thank you so much. Until next time.